For the first time this season, the weather was a big factor across the region. Welcome to the Jack in the Box High School Football Report. I'm Chris Francis. Several games delayed by thunderstorms that rolled through, including our featured matchup, Yelm visiting Peninsula, which got started about 45 minutes late. The top two teams in the South Sound Conference, and Yelm was on the board first after a Ben Hoffman 15-yard keeper. Two teams that have 4-0 conference records. Well, you knew this was going to be a back-and-forth game. Sean Skladany with a 13-yard run at Peninsula had a 1-point lead at the break, 14-13. In the second, Skladany again, this time from 3 yards out. And it looked like they were starting to wear the Tornadoes down. But Carson Ament had other ideas, a 1-yard run for him, and they got the 2-point conversion. So we're tied at 21. You notice a pattern here? Some short runs, a nice couple of keep it on the ground. Well, not this time. How about the 48-yarder from Jake Bice to Chris Swanson? And the Seahawks were leading 28-21. They added a field goal, and that was a good thing because Hoffman, with a 29-yarder, got them to within 3 points as he hit the pylon with just 4 minutes left. They actually had a chance to win it, but they fumbled with about a minute left in the game. So Peninsula remains undefeated in conference. They win at 31-28.
We knew it was going to be a battle. It's definitely one of the best teams we play all year, and we knew we had to execute all night to get this win.
Just calm down, just settle in and execute in the second half. We did a better job in the second half, and then we finished.
Big play needed to happen, so I just went out there and saw they were going to pass the ball, so I knew it was going to be passing. I just went out there and made a play.
So both these teams tonight came in with identical records, nearly identical stats. Peninsula had the slight advantage of playing at home, and what's more impressive, the Seahawks were not looking ahead. Next week is the annual Fish Bowl with Gig Harbor, the team right behind him in the standings. For now, Peninsula's 5-0 in the conference and in the driver's seat with just 2 games left in the regular season.
Our kids didn't even take the time to blink, man. When we put this up the fourth quarter, we dragged them in the deep end, and that's it, man. Our kids finished on Finish Friday.
We knew it was going to be a battle. It's definitely one of the best teams we play all year, and we knew we had to execute all night to get this win.
Hey, Finish Friday. How about that? Now it's time for you to exercise your voting rights. What game would you like to see next week? We will give you 3 choices. All you got to do is head over to KIRO7.com/vote now or download the KIRO 7 mobile app. This week's options: Marysville Pilchuck at Arlington, Ording and Franklin Pierce, or Peninsula Gig Harbor in the Fish Bowl. As I mentioned, this should be a no-brainer. But we will highlight the game with the most votes next Friday right here on KIRO 7 at 11. Democracy in action. The clock is ticking, though. Voting's only open till the end of the show, so choose your matchup, and we'll bring you the results in just a few minutes. Our Jack in the Box High School Player of the Week piled up some yards against one of the best 2A defenses in the state. Last Friday, River Ridge running back Darian Brown ran the rock 35 times for 285 yards, a new school record. He also had 4 touchdowns. The Hawks upset 8th-ranked Fife 42-25 on the road. They went from trailing at halftime to a team that couldn't be stopped.
When you get rolling like that, it boosts everyone. Sideline players on the field. It makes you feel like you're unstoppable. So, when you get rolling like that, you feel like you can do anything. And then when you get that confidence, it makes you push that much harder.
He just went to work, and all the guys that were up front blocking for him did a great job, including our wideouts, getting downfield and making that extra block, which has given him, turning a 20-yard run into a 30 or a 40-yard run. So, Reeds has blocked really well, runs really strong, is running really hungry right now, and has a lot of talent to go with it.
He sure does. One of the games, Washington last night, they won again. How about that? 50-29. And next up, they have a showdown with Steilacoom, so River Ridge Steilacoom. That is on Thursday next week. Coming up, 8 more football games from Snohomish all the way down to Puyallup. Some of the best teams in the region as well. Former Powers Bellevue and Skyline trying to recapture their glory days. The Jack in the Box High School Football Report rolls on after Claire's wet forecast. We are back on the Jack in the Box High School Football Report. We'll have the live voting results for the fan favorite game coming up in just about 2 minutes. Go to KIRO7.com/vote now to get your vote in. Last week's results, fan favorite matchup, had our cameras going to Lincoln, Mount Tahoma, the front end of a doubleheader in South Tacoma, and the A's started fast. A 40-yard run from Abner Seo. He had a little stiff arm there, and he goes out of bounds, but that set up his own 15-yard score. CO making his presence felt with a 6-0 lead. I mean, just carrying tacklers into the end zone. Mount Tahoma tried to hang in there. An interception early on. Nice catch by Naturel Jones going to the ground. Naturel James, excuse me. But they got stopped on 4th down going the other way. And Lincoln turned it into points. Caden Filer with a 26-yard touchdown pass to Jedediah Hayes. Abe's roll 5-0 in conference play now. The final in Tacoma, 46-0. Also in 3A, Bethel is a contender in the PCL after upsetting Lakes last week. The Braves are in the Stadium Bowl tonight, and they wasted no time on their opening drive. Will Latu up the middle for a 12-yard touchdown, covered it up there at the end. Already 2 scores on the ground when Kikoa Vesperis rolled out, and he had Cameron Parker wide open. I guess they bit on the run. He kept his balance, and it turned into a 73-yarder. Bethel 58-7 in that one. In Metro 3A, Ballard visiting Ingram. Both teams unbeaten so far. This one, at least for the Rams, going their way early on. Walker Buskin 80 yards to the end zone. So 7-0 until the ensuing kickoff. And you know, when we say the ensuing kickoff, it means we might get an answer. And we did. Ryan Blocker, 75 yards the other way. It's just a track meet, back and forth. Now, it was just a 1-point game at halftime. Jarman Hauser went in on the left side, hit the pylon for the score, but Ballard did pull away in the second half. They're still unbeaten, 29-13 the final. All right, Liberty
tuning into this one.
waiting a while to take out Bellevue and claim the Kingco 2A, 3A throne, but, you know, Bellevue, they got other ideas. A nice run by Minwoo Eom on the fly sweep for the score, and then Joby Schneider went 50 yards right up the middle, got tackled there on the shoestring, but that led to more points, so it's 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Carter Laws took it in for a 21-0 lead. After a Liberty fumble, Alex Reed scored. It just continued from there. The final 42-7, Bellevue beats Liberty. Westco 3A with a logjam at the top of the standings. Snohomish trying to win the division. Linwood trying to get into playoff position. Panthers got rolling early. Josh Vandergrind on the draw into the end zone. It was 8-0 after the conversion. Look at that rain coming down. Linwood had trouble slowing down that Snoho attack. Silas Straley with a great fake and a bootleg, untouched for a 2-yard score, and Snohomish went on to win it 35-0 in this one. Nice little run there, but they didn't get into the end zone. In 2A, White River needed a win to stay in the playoff picture. Fife also desperate, hosting a playoff game in the districts. They want to anyway. This one pretty much all defense. Fife's Tegan Jansen with the sack. The Hornets solid on D as well. Jay Salander with the tackle for loss. It forced a punt. Both teams kicked field goals in the fourth quarter, but the Trojans did finally get a touchdown in overtime, and Fife with a 9-3 win as they survive a low-scoring game. In 4A, Mount Si has already faced the 2 toughest opponents in Kingco, so they couldn't afford a slip-up tonight hosting Skyline. Hey, man, no problem there. Clay Millen drilling a pass to Braden Holt through the rain and into the end zone. Millen, he was just a terror tonight. Spartans defense had no answer. This play summed it up. He scrambled around. Even in the rain, he's just holding that rock out there, and he finds Andrew Mustafi in the end zone. The Cats have an easy time behind Millen's passing, 55-7, the final. Also in 4A, this is last night now. Puyallup hosting South Kitsap. Vikings needed an impressive win to stay near the top of the 4A rankings, and they certainly got it. Luke Holcomb, 13 yards on the TD scramble as Puyallup raced to a big lead. Turnovers in this one, just so many. I mean, you know, it's raining. The ball's going to slip around. The fumble recovery there. Puyallup with a 62-0 convincing win over South Kitsap in the Thursday nighter. Another touchdown from Puyallup. All right, we said next week's fan favorite matchup would last till the end of the show, and we are at the end of the show. The fan favorite matchup is the Fishbowl, Peninsula, and Gig Harbor. We knew that's what it would be, right? We'll feature those 2 teams next Friday night. Thanks to our sponsor, All City Fence, and to you for taking the time to vote. And for more scores and highlights, go to KIRO7.com. We'll be right back.